and welcome to another free.volous episode. Today I'm bringing you my review on the Pat McGrath Labs Bridgerton eyeshadow palette, which is the only item from the collection that I own. I bought it at launch time, and I was so kind of entertained by watching American influencers complaining about the delivery times, because it took me the average time anything takes to arrive to Portugal. So it was really funny. Everybody was complaining. I can't say for sure. I'll let you know. I'll look it up on my Instagram and I'll let you know when it got here. But anyway, it is still available in the website, which I'm checking here. It is at the moment for 70 euros. I know I got it at a discount because it was I got myself into the pre-ordering kind of newsletter group, so I got a discount. I didn't get this for the 70 euros that it is now selling for, but this is it. I have not watched Bridgerton. It's not my cup of tea in terms of very romancy, intense, flustered kind of thing. It's not my cup of tea. Maybe I could give it a go for just having fun, but I haven't gravitated towards it, although the costumes look delightful. But yeah, I haven't delved into Bridgerton and I haven't delved into Pat McGrath products. So this was kind of a first. I have a quad from them, which I have, or from her, which I have to give further try, but it's a different formula from what I'm used to. I kind of have lots of minis from Natasha Denona. That's my kind of comparison point, because that's what I own the most in terms of very expensive eyeshadows. If you ever were curious regarding this palette, you've already watched those Pat McGrath collectors on YouTube doing their amazing looks with this, and of course I was drawn by the campaign on Instagram, but for me the marketing around Pat McGrath is a bit, I wouldn't say iffy, but it's not, it can create some expectations that will definitely not deliver. They put so many filters on their shooting and on their images, and they choose models that look like they don't have pores. They're made of, I don't know, silicone rubber or something. So I wanted to see if this could work for somebody with, you know, wrinklage happening and some less than perfect conditions to apply product. And of course I'm in love with the red shade here. This astral shade is absolutely fantastic, but I also wanted to give a good go on these neutrals, because I think this is a 6 eyeshadow kind of thing with a very strict theme. I think this was pretty well done, so I want to give it a go today. I've tried it before, but I only used it once, so I really want to dig into it, because the last time, a bit after using this palette, I had a weird reaction on my eyes, which I do not know at this moment if it was because of the eyeshadows on this palette or something else. The rest of my face ended up exploding too, so I'm kind of thinking it did not have to do with the eyeshadows, but we'll see. I'll let you know in the description box if something happens. But yeah, I'm gonna grab my brushes and we'll dig into it. Okay. So from what I've seen, most of the Pat McGrath fans and collectors, let me give you a bit more light for the time being. Okay, they do usually use a primer with the eyeshadows, which I feel is okay. Many people do. I'm not the biggest fan, or at least I'm too lazy to use primers on a daily basis, but I'm going to do the same as they have done. I know Pat McGrath has sort of a glitter glue at least, but can't afford it, to be honest. I have a glitter glue from NYX if I decide to use it. So here we go. This is the Urban Decay, the eyeshadow primer potion, the anti-aging one, which I feel is a bit less drying on the eyes than the usual, the regular primer potion. Although I'm in love with the reds. I think we've seen so many red looks from this. I don't know what to do with myself. I think I'm going to pick a bit of the Plum Regalia shade, which is the darkest shade, and see how this matte performs, because this is the only true matte in the palette. Okay, it goes on right off the bat, pretty pigmented. And as I was saying, the other shades, the reds, satin mattes, I'd say. They look like they have been sort of baked in a way. This in itself is pretty nice. I feel like it's kind of clinging onto my primer, funnily enough. Should I have set the primer? I want the full colour of this. I think I prefer to use eyeshadows without a primer regularly. This does not speak good of the eyeshadow. It's looking a bit patchy and it's not clinging on to... I have some wrinkles, and if I move my eye, it just reopens that wrinklage. But I think I managed to save it. As you can see, it can be really diffused, so that's really pretty. Let's jump into the other eye, which is not tacky. Again, the same thing happening with my wrinkles or creases on this side. It's just, I have to stretch my lids and really buff it in because it doesn't want to stick there. I think that without a primer this would have gone far more, or setting the primer, but I don't want to disturb the colour. This would have gone far better, in my humble opinion. But yeah, we'll keep on carrying on. They do blend beautifully. I'm gonna get a clean brush just to fade the edges. And now I think I'm gonna go, I already have one glitter floating around, yay. I'm gonna go a bit deeper in the outer corner. Yes. It's kind of patchy though. You know, those young girls with no creasage happening, probably to them the primer is a good thing. And this one, as I said, is not as dry, but it's not a sticky primer either. It just feels like more lightweight on the eyes than a drying primer would feel, so that's that. So here it is, Plum Regalia, don't know, blended on the eyes. What should we do now? Should we go with the pink? Now we have this kind of more, it's a rosy, but on the skin turns a bit more corally or peachy pink. Let's pack it on to see what happens. This is lighter than the other pink in the palette. But yeah, it does bring some change to the plum color, so it doesn't erase itself, you know. It is a satin. I can see a bit of a shift, not a shift, a few very thin, almost microfine glitters, or shimmers. Yeah, it's making the Plum Regalia go a bit more on the purpley, magenta-y side, which is really nice. So here we go. I'm picking up some with my brush, not too much, and I'm patting it on. I'm a big fan of pink and red eyeshadow. I was hoping actually that the darkest color would be either fuchsia or a deep red. It's neither. It's kind of a rosy berry. It's really beautiful though, just not as shocking as I'd expect. So here is the pinky color. What's your name? Art of the Swoon. It's Art of the Swoon, everybody. The Art of the Swoon. I'm going to go back a bit with Plum Regalia. Just on this outer corner here. I want to keep it pretty deep. I'm trying to use not all of the colours, but some of the colours, the most impactful colours, because that's why you buy this palette, right? It's for this, this and this, and then maybe this. These two are actually very beautiful on their own. They will create a very nice, sort of very neutrally look on your eyes too. So I'm going to take, this is the Luxe pencil brush by Zoeva, and I'm going to take actually the highlightery colour, which is this one here called Iconic Ingenue. Ouais. And I'm placing just a tad bit here because this is not from getting older, but on my skin, on my inner corner, this makes my eyes look a bit more textured. It always has. I'm wondering if I should go with the pink a bit more blown out, like so, past the Plum Regalia thing, and just, yeah, I like that. It's just the softest tapping, like so, just to create a more diffused look. Of course, my lids are not as sturdy as they used to be, so I have to pat this on instead of swiping. But I like this, bringing it all to the brow, and then with the blending brush, yeah, I like this. It makes it a bit more interesting, I'd say. I'm preparing myself for a halo eye. Inner corner a bit softer, just a touch, and the outer corner a bit more bold. The lighting today is terrible, and I'm so sorry. I'll go back and forth with this. So I'm gonna go on one eye with glitter glue. Mine is from glitter primer. Mine is from NYX. The other eye I will put it without anything and see how it goes. Maybe I'll dampen the brush just to make sure that I don't have fallout, because I already have a bit of foundation on, because I'm doing an up close and personal, trying to do as many videos as I can. So I'm going to apply a bit of glitter primer on this eye, just a touch, with this brush, the Astral shade, which is called Regency Blue. I'm just pressing this against the brush. Maybe I should wet it, just to make sure there's the least amount of fallout possible, because this is a very loose formula. This is a very dry, loose glitter. It doesn't feel like it has many binders to it. And here it is. I'm not going to touch it too much because it hasn't fallen down onto my eyes. I'm just packing a bit more on the center here. Oh, it's not translating on camera. Damn it, it's my lighting, I'm sorry. And we'll do the same thing. The brush is basically cleaned down. That's how dry this eyeshadow is. Just keep that in mind. It will fall down. You will need lots of tape. First layer. Picking up some more. Second layer. And And here we are. Same kind of finish on both eyes. Maybe it will last longer with the glue, which is why the glue was created. I hope this is providing any kind of sparkly magic, because it is quite sparkly. It doesn't look, there you go, it doesn't look as wet as it did on the videos of Pat McGrath's Instagram, and even the influencers who have a better setting or equipment than I do. But in real life it looks a bit more glittery and a bit less wet. I'm finding that on this eye this is not as strong, but here we go. Taking a small brush, and I'm going to pick up Plum Regalia on the lower lash line. This is pretty pigmented, this matte. And then I'm going to pick up the red shade Love Match, which is this one, which is not red, but it looks red. I love the little bees embossed in here. Just adding a touch to the outer corner. And it's giving a more, blended with the Plum Regalia, sorry I'm covering you up, but blended with the Plum Regalia, it's giving a more fuchsia, magenta sort of colour than the other pink on top, which went a bit more pinky. But yes, I'm going to pick up my blending brush, the clean one, or barely dirty, and taking a bit more of Plum Regalia, bringing it a bit more onto the inner corners. I'm trying to get the gist of what I want to do more, and I think I need a bit more pink to get the look a bit more sultry, you know. And then, just to have a little bit of fun, where are you? I'm going to take a little bit of that highlighting shade Iconic Ingenue and pop it right on the center. Is it going to show? No. Nope. Cancel that. It's making my under eye look a bit too crackly for my liking. So that's where I draw the line. So on the bottom waterline I went with Urban Decay Alkaline 24/7 pencil, and on the top lash line or waterline I went with Black by Marc Jacobs, sadly discontinued. Just for shits and giggles, I'm going to take the lightest pink here to use as a blusher. Am I doing something profoundly wrong? Maybe, because this is quite pigmented. So I'm just using this lightest touch. And yeah, it's already showing up on my face. Here we go. But it can be used as a blusher, no doubt. And it doesn't look at all patchy, or, you know, something that a strongly pigmented eyeshadow can often create some patchiness, but this is looking pretty dang good. And while we're at it, I'm going to take the Iconic Ingenue, the lighter highlighting shade, and try to use it as a highlighter. Nothing much is happening. I have a bit of fallout from the glitter. It's, you know, the spray is drying down. Is anything happening with this shade as a highlighter? I do not think so. Yeah, no. On me, it's not translating. Maybe on camera it looks, it's showing a bit, but in real life it's not worth it. I'm always very reluctant to build up lots of highlighter, because it can create texture in an area where you don't necessarily want texture. So yeah, It feels like it's going to be too powdery. But yeah, that's it. That's my Bridgerton look. I'm going to pop on some lips and I'm done. So this is it. This is my final look with the Bridgerton palette. I have lots of fun. You know that this color scheme, of course, had to call my name. I love the pinks and the magentas and the reds for the eyes, and I love eyeshadows that can look like glass and water on your eyes. And I didn't feel disappointed by the deeper plummy brown, so I had lots of fun. The only eyeshadow I didn't use was this Duchess Divinity. Yes, Duchess Divinity, but I'll swatch it for you. Here it is. And this, it's really pretty on its own. Even with some wetting the brush probably will make it really foiled. It looks gorgeous on camera. And this with the highlighter shade Iconic Ingenue, which as you can see is not at all as glossy. It's more of a satiny finish. Let me build it up. And again, Plum Regalia, if you need it. You have your neutrals basically. So this palette was, in my opinion, really well made regarding the expectations created by, you know, the choices in Pat McGrath's videos and stuff like that, the people they choose to apply the eyeshadows to, and also the filters in the campaign. Oh, I had a bit of mascara over there, I'm sorry, but all of that, we also always have to watch those things with a pinch of salt. That's her aesthetics, and we just have to remove the aesthetics out of the product to see if it really suits us, and that's why YouTube is a great resource. As you can see on my a bit more aged skin, it performs really well. It has its challenges, like any kind of makeup around the wrinkly areas and all of that stuff, but it performs really well, it delivers. And also the fact that you can use these two eyeshadows, in my opinion, are the ones that one would go for as blushes. The fact that they deliver, because they are satin matte, they deliver a bit of glossy sheen to the cheeks without looking too much. Love that for this palette. I think you can travel with this and a little more. And you'll be done either for day looks or a bit more fun looks. So I had lots of fun, really enjoyed the palette. I'm not sorry that I got it, and I look forward to playing more with it. And I hope you have enjoyed this video. As usual, if you have, please leave me a thumbs up, comment down below what you want to see next from me. Which Pat McGrath palettes, if you have any, would you tell me to get? Not that I will buy any in the near future, but I would venture kind of swatching them in store or something. As usual, if you haven't, please consider subscribing, and thank you for spending your sweet and precious time on me, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye!